All right. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. Congratulations to our top three in the B&D Builders 5-Star Grand Prix here at Major League Show Jumping's second leg in Traverse City. I'd like to introduce our top three. First, congratulations to our winner, Carl Cook. Second place, Andrew Bournes. And third place, Dara Kenny. And joining us also, we have Kian White, co-founder of Major League Show Jumping. Carl, I'd like to get started with you. I think anyone's scared when Kent is coming behind them in a jump off. We pulled a fun fact, however. He hasn't beat you in a Grand Prix since December, however. So how are you feeling right now?
I mean, obviously I feel good. I mean, you don't feel bad, you know, when you win a class. But honestly, at the time, I was more focused on what had happened before me, because I'd seen Andrew go, I'd seen Dara go, and I saw where the risks were. And so, you know, I tried to temper those risks as best as I could. Now, of course, I knew that Kent's coming up after me, but it's much better to go clear and maybe a little bit off than to go whole hog and have 8 faults and end up 5th. So I was actually looking more at Andrew and Dara.
Thank you. And Kalinka, such a special horse for you. She was really on her game tonight. I think that was the most composed we've seen her. Can you just talk a little bit about how she felt?
She just, you know, when you've had a horse for a while, when you get on them to start warming up, you have a feeling, you know, like they just give you a feeling. And I had a really great feeling from her. And then, you know, the first round, it was a very tough first round, you know, but she fought so hard in that first round. You know, I tried my best in the first round to put her at the best places. I wasn't 100% accurate there, but she was with me the whole time. So I knew that, knowing her, that wasn't going to change for the second round. And so I felt, you know, I had a good shot. If I didn't make any gross errors, she was going to be right there with me.
Great, thank you. And can you maybe just preview where we'll see you and Kalinka on the Major League Tour next?
Probably Greenwich. Yeah.
And are the Pan American Games on the radar for you?
I've applied for the Pan American Games, but they haven't told us.
Great, thank you. Andrew, we'll move on to you. This is a great finish for this horse. Can you just talk a little about where this ranks in his career?
For C-Top Blue, it's probably one of his better results in his career. He's won Grand Prix up to 4-star, and he's placed numerous times at 5-star Grand Prix. Actually, this week last year, he was placed 4th in the Grand Prix of Dublin in Ireland, which is a CSIO 5-star Grand Prix. So it's nice to move up 2 spaces. I think I misjudged the double in the jump off. I'm not sure if I would have still beaten Carl because he was coming after me and he would have known the course. But I certainly would have given him a better run for his money if I had just made a slightly better judgment on the double. It certainly wasn't C-Top Blue's fault today anyway. He was out for the win. Like Carl said, you know, my family have owned him since he was a foal. So we know him inside out, and you know when he's on form that day. And just right from this afternoon when I worked with him, he was really, really on form. First round was very, very tough, and he jumped exceptionally well. So I knew I could push the boundary a little bit in the jump off, considering who was coming. I was actually thinking a little more about who's coming behind me, but therein I made a misjudgment on the double.
And Marina gave us a proper 5-star track out there today, difficult in the first round, and that double gave a lot of people trouble in the jump off. Can you talk about why that was so difficult?
For me, I wanted to gallop through the turn and then slow down and just steady a little. And what I think I did, I started to wait a little too soon. I think the double was further away from us than what we actually thought. So we galloped through the turn, and normally it would come up a little quicker, and then you just step on the brakes, maybe 2 or 3 strides out, pop up, and then jump it. But instead, I started braking maybe 5 or 6 strides out, and it was just further away. And I'm pretty sure I added a stride on what I should have done. And by adding the stride, then he got very careful on A, and then too high over B. It's hard because as you're doing it, you're like, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that.
Can I say Marina did a unbelievable job
Yeah,
today.
I will add to that.
You know, it has been a while since I've jumped a course where the course presented so many challenges, and the time allowed wasn't really that big of a factor. But there's so many challenges where there wasn't an easy answer. But you know, there were rails, but there weren't like, you know, crazy disasters. And it was.
I'll also add to that, there was no one bogey line.
Yep,
Yeah, the
yep.
line to the
It
double
was all over.
verticals was difficult, but realistically, I'm sure if you looked at the stats, the rails were coming down all over the course.
All over. It
And
was
for
a
me,
great
that's
course.
a sign of a really solid 5-star top
Yeah.
sport course. So congratulations.
It was.
And Andrew, we're happy to see you back on the Major League Tour. Can you maybe tell us if we'll see you again throughout the season?
Yes. I hope you will see me back here for Gold Cup, and then maybe try on in a few other of the major leagues. We really enjoy coming to the major league shows. So yeah, we'll be back for sure.
Great, thank you. And Dara, moving on to you, you came really close to pulling off a hat trick this week. You won the qualifier, won the team class, and if you had won tonight, I think that's the first time that would have ever happened. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm very happy. To be honest, I knew going out into the jump off, I didn't really have a chance to beat Carl. My horse is 9 years old. He's super green. He only stepped up to the 5-star level in Spruce Meadows. He's jumped clear in every 5-star Grand Prix he's jumped in so far. I think he's a really special horse, but he would have been no match for Carl's horse today, you know. So I was happy with my week. I had a great week. My horses jumped great, all of them. I'm really excited for this horse. I think next year he can be an incredible horse. He's so talented, and he just keeps getting better every round. So I'm happy about that.
Great. And you have quite the deep string right now. Can you talk a little about what horses we'll see? Will you be in Toronto?
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I have a couple of really good owners at the moment and some amazing horses. A lot of them were slowly producing. Most of my actual older horses are just returning from little bits of injuries and stuff like that. So these are mostly young horses, but they're getting better and better. I'll take Hamra will jump in Ottawa, the Grand Prix. I'll jump a different one, Vancouver, in the Grand Prix in Angelstone. And then I have a few new ones that I'm going to take to Angelstone and start to step up a bit and see what they do.
Great, thank you. And Kian, I think every time we end a Major League Grand Prix, we talk about how great the sport was, and then it just seems to get better and better. Can you just talk a little bit about your reaction to the class tonight?
Yeah, I think going into season 3 here, I think we saw today like really top level sport. When I walked the course, you know, I've been wearing jeans for a couple of years now, and I still thought it looked big. Normally, when you're wearing your jeans, you kind of think it doesn't look as big. So I thought it was very difficult, very tall, wide, and yeah, I mean, we got exactly the result we want for top sport. We had some of the best riders in the world today. We had an amazing sponsor here with B&D Builders, and Will stepping up to kind of support this event, and you know, it's so important for this tour to have these sponsors step up and support these big events so that we can keep growing, keep pushing the sport forward.
Great. And we'll be back here for the American Gold Cup in September.
Yeah, we'll be back in 7 or 8 weeks. We can't wait.
I want to add to what Keane is saying about the Major League. Anytime you see at this time of year riders of this caliber actually staying in the United States and not being in Europe, I think it's a real testament to the quality of the shows.
It hasn't happened ever.
In my lifetime, it hasn't happened. So, you know, I think it's a real testament to the quality of the shows, and exactly what Major League was designed to do is to keep the better riders and the better horses in the United States and create during the summer really top sport here. And I think this is a real sign today that we're going that direction, and it's the right thing to do.
Dara, when was the last time you were in the U.S. at this time?
I'd say about 9 years ago.
Well, there you go. And last year I was in Europe, and I stayed here this year for this. So and Kent, you see that caliber of horses and riders here. That's the best sport in the world, what you're watching right there.
Thank you so much, guys. Does anyone have any questions? Good. All right. We'll just have you guys stand up for a quick photo.